Elliss on the move, lets it fly. Oh, Diggs! Oh, what a catch!
We are talking a massive fall from grace, going from Super Bowl heroics to shocking clips of him allegedly getting physical with his own cook over a money fight. Here is the raw truth behind that leaked video involving Diggs and the assault accusations.
Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs in court this morning, pleading not guilty to charges he assaulted his personal chef.
Diggs did not just show up. He grinded from being a Maryland high school legend to dominating the league as one of the best receivers alive. His whole career has been about razor-sharp routes, crazy bursts of speed, and putting up monster numbers year after year. Now rocking a New England Patriots jersey, his journey to the top screams grit, fire, and staying elite when it matters most. It all started at Our Lady of Good Counsel High back in Montgomery County, Maryland. Back in 2010, his junior year was absolute insanity. He racked up 810 yards and found the end zone 23 times, basically owning the state. Senior year, he leveled up, 770 receiving yards, 8 scores through the air, plus he ran for 277 yards and added 3 rushing touchdowns. He even played defense, smashing opponents with 31.5 tackles, 5.5 for a loss, and a sack just for good measure. The guy was not just a football player, he was burning up the track too. He hit a personal best of 22.32 seconds in the 200 meters and blazed a 4.43 in the 40-yard dash. He was running relays with future NFL defenders, proving he came up in a shark tank of talent. Scouts were drooling over him, a consensus 5-star recruit, top-tier receiver nationwide, and the undisputed king of Maryland prospects. He had the pick of the litter: Florida, ESC2, Ohio State, Auburn, Cal. Everyone wanted a piece of him, but he turned them all down to stay local and rep the University of Maryland. Freshman year, 2012, he did not wait around. Diggs exploded onto the scene immediately. In just 11 games, he piled up a staggering 1,896 all-purpose yards, one of the best seasons the school had ever seen. He was the main man for catches, yards, and scores, while also tearing it up on kickoff and punt returns. He absolutely torched West Virginia, putting up 201 yards and 2 scores, snagging ACC Rookie of the Week bragging rights. His 2013 sophomore run hit a wall, though a broken right leg against Wake Forest cut his season short. Before going down, he still managed 587 yards and 3 touchdowns in 7 games. Getting an honorable mention nod from the ACC, he bounced back in 2014, grabbing 62 balls for 792 yards and 5 touchdowns, landing on the All-Big Ten second team. Even with a lacerated kidney costing him playing time, he was still the heartbeat of that offense. After that, he went pro. The Minnesota Vikings snagged him in the 5th round of the 2015 draft pick 146. He sat on the bench for the first 3 games. But once he got on the field, he took that starting spot and never looked back. He became the first Vikings rookie since the legendary Randy Moss to drop back-to-back 100-yard games right out of the gate. By the end of year 1, he had 52 catches and 720 yards, making the all-rookie squad. Year after year, he sharpened his game, teaming up with Adam Thielen to form one of the deadliest duos in football. Then came the 2017 playoffs, where Diggs etched his name into history forever. Game on the line against the Saints. Clock hitting 0, he snags a 61-yard touchdown for the Minneapolis Miracle, sending the Vikings forward in pure chaos. By 2018, he was smashing the 1,000-yard barrier and inking a massive 5-year payday. He was unstoppable, clean routes, winning jump balls, and shaking elite defenders out of their cleats. March 2020 changed everything. He got traded to the Buffalo Bills, and his career went supernova. Hooking up with quarterback Josh Allen, Diggs led the entire league with 127 catches and 1,535 yards. That 2020 season earned him first-team All-Pro status and a ticket to the Pro Bowl. He became the fastest player ever to hit 100 catches with a new team and shattered Eric Mold's franchise yardage record. He kept that energy in the postseason, dragging Buffalo all the way to the AFC Championship game. From 2020 through 2022, Diggs stayed at the top of the food chain in catches and yardage. He posted multiple 1,000-yard campaigns and kept racking up those Pro Bowl nods, burning the best defenses in the game. He proved over and over that he is a master technician of route running. In 2022, Buffalo locked him down with another huge 4-year deal. He capped that campaign with a massive 1,429 receiving yards and a career-best 11 touchdowns, proving his football IQ could dissect any defense regardless of the system. Kicking off 2023, he was an absolute monster, tearing off at least 100 receiving yards in 5 of his first 6 matchups. That dominance locked in his 4th straight Pro Bowl nod, wrapping the year with 107 grabs, 1,183 yards, and 8 scores. But the script flipped the following spring when he was shipped off to the Houston Texans in April 2024. He didn't waste a second in his Houston premiere, immediately shattering the 10,000-yard career milestone. Disaster struck his 2024 run, though a torn ACL in Week 8 cut him down, freezing his stat line at 47 catches for 496 yards and 3 touchdowns. Come March 28, 2025, Diggs staged his comeback by inking a 3-year pact with the New England Patriots. Landing him was a loud declaration that the franchise was all in on rebuilding a lethal offensive attack. He instantly became the alpha in New England, topping the charts in catches and yards while smashing through that 1,000-yard barrier. He was the spark the Pats had been missing, becoming the first wideout since Julian Edelman in 2019 to hit those heights. His electric play dragged the Patriots back to relevance, securing their first ticket to the postseason dance since 2021. When the lights got bright, he shined, powering the squad through the AFC Championship and punching their ticket to Super Bowl 60. Even though they fell short of the Lombardi Trophy, he remained a constant threat, hauling in multiple catches and fighting until the final whistle. But then the narrative took a dark, unexpected twist involving a serious altercation with his private chef. Barely a week after battling on the Gridiron's biggest stage, Stefon Diggs went from Super Bowl star to criminal defendant. Fresh off Super Bowl 60, the veteran receiver found himself staring down a heavy felony charge regarding alleged strangulation or suffocation. That's on top of a misdemeanor assault and battery count, all tracing back to a disturbing night in December 2025 at his Dedham, Massachusetts home. The drama revolves around a heated clash between the wideout and the woman employed as his live-in culinary artist during the 2025 season. Court papers and police files paint a picture of tension that had been simmering and boiling over for weeks. What started as simple bickering over job details spiraled out of control, ending with the Dedham Police Department getting involved. Records show the chef first stepped into his kitchen around July 20th, 2025. The gig was supposed to be a live-in arrangement, keeping Diggs fed and fueled all the way through the end of the football calendar. She claimed the initial deal promised her a paycheck every single week. In reality, though, she said the cash only hit her account once a month via wire transfer. As the season wore on, she started feeling like the money situation was getting shaky and unpredictable. By early winter, she felt shortchanged, specifically regarding a week in November when she was told to sit tight. Diggs supposedly told her he had company coming and wouldn't need her cooking from November 7th through the 14th. As part of the hosting plan, she was instructed to pack up and clear out of her room for a bit. She made it clear to the cops that this wasn't a vacation she had asked for. Since she was ready to work, she figured standard industry rules meant she should still get her full envelope for that week. To make matters worse, she claimed nobody offered a dime to help cover her travel costs while she was displaced. That argument over the missing wages allegedly turned into a constant source of friction between them. According to the official report, everything finally exploded on December 2nd, 2025. At his spot on 7 Schoolmaster Lane in Dedham, the chef stated she and the receiver had been firing text messages back and forth about the cash she felt she deserved. That's when she claims Diggs walked right into her unlocked bedroom to hash it out face to face. She alleges the vibe turned hostile the second the conversation shifted to the unpaid money. In her statement, she told detectives that things got physical and he slapped her across the face during the heat of the moment. When she tried to shove him off, she claims he got behind her and wrapped his arm around her neck, locking it in with the crook of his elbow. She described gasping for air and feeling like she was about to lose consciousness. alleging that he only squeezed tighter when she struggled. The report says he then tossed her onto the mattress, dropping a cold remark along the lines of, "Thought so." Even then, when she brought up the money again, she claims he just barked, "Lies," and stormed out of the room. She mentioned seeing red marks on her upper chest afterward, but admitted she didn't snap any pictures of the injury. She explained she had to get in his face about it because he was the only one with the power to push the button on her payments. Shaken by the alleged brawl, she packed a bag and crashed at a friend's place to get away. A week later, on December 9th, she circled back to the house just long enough to grab the rest of her stuff. The report notes that she hit up Diggs via text, only to get bounced over to his assistant to settle the money dispute. When she connected with his finance crew, the message was clear: no paycheck unless she inked a non-disclosure agreement first. She refused to sign her silence away. By December 16th, the chef walked into the Dedham Police Department to put the alleged attack on record. Police observed she was visibly shaken and reluctant to speak, specifically asking for a female officer to handle her statement. With no female personnel available right then, she took a moment to compose herself before agreeing to move forward with the officer on duty. Once the interview began, she laid out exactly what happened during that December 2nd confrontation. At first, she held back on naming Diggs, intimidated by his high-profile status as a pro athlete. Finally, she dropped the name, confirming the man in question was indeed the New England Patriots' own Stefon Diggs. Even then, she told the cops she wasn't looking to press criminal charges or slap him with a restraining order just yet. Authorities made it clear the probe would continue regardless, handing her risk assessment paperwork regarding domestic violence and strangulation. Later on, she forwarded screenshots of their text history to the investigators. Police noticed the texts came from a number different than the one on file, which she clarified was an alternate line she'd used to talk to Diggs before. On December 20th, detectives circled back to the chef to see where she wanted to take things, standing firm on skipping the charges. She simply asked the officers to tell Diggs to quit contacting her. She mentioned getting bombarded with texts and voicemails earlier that week from a woman she suspected was Diggs's girlfriend. The report claims those messages tried to downplay the drama, insisting it wasn't a big deal and she didn't need to take it this far. She was worried this meant Diggs had already found out she went to the cops. Investigators promised her that no one had reached out to Diggs at that point. Later that morning, an officer dialed the number provided for Diggs, but it went straight to voicemail, so they left a request for a callback. A second try on December 22nd hit the same wall, another voicemail. That same day, the chef left both a voicemail and an email, signaling a major shift she was ready to pursue criminal charges. Police returned her call the following morning. Connecting with her around 9:45 on December 23rd, she verified her decision, stating she had indeed changed her stance and wanted the prosecution to move forward. The official report leaves out exactly why she suddenly flipped the switch. By December 29th, the Dedham Police Department officially filed a criminal complaint, slapping Diggs with a felony count of strangulation or suffocation and a misdemeanor for assault and battery. The New England Patriots went public on December 30th, acknowledging they were in the loop regarding the accusations. The organization emphasized that Diggs had completely rejected the claims against him. They promised full cooperation with law enforcement and the NFL as the situation unfolded. Diggs himself stayed quiet, releasing no personal statement. While the NFL noted the issue but refused to comment further, his arraignment was originally set for late January 2026. On January 8th, a judge approved his legal team's motion to delay the hearing, citing his professional duties during the postseason run. At the time, the Patriots were deep in their playoff campaign. On February 8th, Diggs took the field for his first Super Bowl at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, where the Patriots fell to the Seattle Seahawks 29-13. Even with felony charges hanging over his head, Diggs remained on the roster and played the entire championship game. But the reality check came on February 13th, when Diggs finally appeared at Dedham District Court for his arraignment. He entered a plea of not guilty to both the felony strangulation and the misdemeanor assault charges. The judge issued a no-contact order protecting the accuser and set a pretrial hearing date for April 1st. Diggs brought in heavy hitters for his defense, retaining Boston attorneys Michael DeFano, William Kettlewell, and David Meyer. Defense lawyer Mitchell Schuster went on record stating Diggs flat-out denies the story, calling the allegations baseless and claiming they stem from a simple money dispute. Schuster added that they aren't looking for a plea deal, confident that the actual evidence will paint a completely different portrait of what happened. The Cardi B aftermath. While the legal dust began to settle around the private chef incident, the shockwaves extended way outside the courtroom walls. As Diggs geared up for the 2026 Super Bowl, the spotlight shifted aggressively to his personal life, specifically his romance with Cardi B. To really get the breakup, you have to look at the family picture. Diggs first became a father back in October 2016 with the birth of his daughter, Nova. Through the years, he dropped breadcrumbs of their tight connection, showcasing Nova's fiery spirit and hustle. Whenever the cameras were rolling, he'd liken her grit and voltage to his baby brother, NFL standout Trevon Deshaun Diggs. Nova was his regular +1 at games and red carpets, famously hijacking the spotlight on more than one occasion. During a high-stakes contract meeting with the Buffalo Bills in 2022, she boldly dropped the classic Jerry Maguire demand, "Show me the money." The girl wasn't just talk. Either she was hitting the mats and earning her yellow belt in karate. She was thick as thieves with her grandmother, Stephanie Diggs, who loved splashing Nova's big moments all over the internet. Then came April 2025, when Diggs welcomed daughter number 2, Charlie Harper, with model Aylin Lara. That arrival kicked off a legal firestorm over paternity and visitation rights, until a November 2025 DNA test proved Diggs was indeed the dad. He signed on for a joint custody deal, leaving the day-to-day parenting duties primarily in Lara's hands. Finally, on November 13th, 2025, Cardi B delivered their first son together, cementing a new branch of the family tree. The rap superstar hit Instagram to trumpet the news, framing the birth as the opening scene of a fresh chapter. "I delivered fresh tracks and a new album to the globe, a baby boy into my universe, and found one more excuse to evolve into my best self. Just another reason to love myself harder than anything or anyone else, so I can keep pouring that love and life into my babies." Already juggling 3 kids from her marriage to Offset, Cardi was now staring down a complicated new reality. She had to mesh her newborn son into the tangled web surrounding Diggs, who had racked up a count of 5 kids with different mothers by then. Then came the flashpoint and the immediate debris field. News of the alleged beatdown on Diggs's private chef broke late that December, instantly becoming tabloid fodder. Diggs pleaded not guilty, while his legal team spun the narrative, claiming the whole mess was just a dispute over cash. As the criminal case geared up, Cardi B, fresh off giving birth in November, was thrown straight into the pressure cooker. People in their inner circle whispered that the drama instantly fractured her bond with Diggs. The timing couldn't have been worse, hitting right when they should have been in the newborn bubble, all while the world watched. Even though Cardi kept her lips sealed in public, behind closed doors, the temperature was reportedly rising fast. Insiders hinted that the romance, which only sparked in October 2024, was already on thin ice thanks to Diggs's complicated track record. Fast forward to February 2026, and Diggs was suiting up for Super Bowl 60. He was on the field at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, ready to clash with the Seattle Seahawks. Cardi was everywhere that weekend, hitting up A-list bashes like the Don Julio Party and Michael Rubin's Fanatics Blowout. She even popped up for a surprise cameo during the halftime show, sharing the stage with Bad Bunny and other stars. To the cameras, she looked locked in and radiant, selling the image of the supportive, celebrating partner. But if you looked closer during that Super Bowl weekend, the cracks in the foundation were starting to show. When an ESPN reporter fish-hooked her for a message to Diggs before kickoff, she gave a cold, "Blink and you'll miss it. Good luck" before walking off. That clip went viral instantly, feeding the rumor mill and confirming that the vibes were definitely off. Immediately after her halftime moment, Cardi bailed on the stadium, skipping the second half entirely. The Patriots eventually took a beating, losing 29-13, which just piled more misery onto Diggs's weekend. To top it off, a massive post-game rager Cardi had planned for VIPs and athletes was scrapped at the last second. Word on the street was the cancellation came straight from the mounting hostility between them. It was a mix of relationship toxins and the stress of the looming legal battle. Then, the social media war began. The gulf between them started showing up on their feeds, clear as day. Right over Super Bowl weekend, Cardi and Diggs hit the unfollow button on each other across the board, a modern-day declaration of war. Neither of them said a word about it, but the digital erasure spoke volumes. Then came reports that other women linked to Diggs were spotted at Super Bowl events, throwing gasoline on the fire. Sources painted Cardi as going into full mama bear mode, protecting her peace and her newborn above all else. She reportedly started building walls, setting hard boundaries regarding Diggs. She blocked him from her tour stops and shut down any attempts at gifts or apology gestures. Insiders claimed Diggs could only see his son under supervision, with a strict rule that he couldn't interact with Cardi at all. The public split. The final nail in the coffin was hammered in during Cardi's Little Miss Drama tour stop in Los Angeles. Cardi dropped a bombshell mid-performance of her diss track Pretty and Petty, letting the whole world know the split is official. She wasted no time firing back at the shade thrown by her rap nemesis. BIA had taken to the internet to drag Diggs, mocking his private life and his track record as a father. Cardi stood her ground on stage and declared, "Just because I ain't messing with my baby daddy doesn't mean you get to talk about my baby daddy." The clip went viral immediately, and it cleared up two major things for the fans watching at home. The relationship is a wrap. But Cardi isn't about to let outsiders run their mouths about Diggs. Rumor has it Diggs tried to fix things after the breakup, allegedly sending over Chanel drip and that Rolex to win her back. But her security detail wasn't having it, reportedly turning those deliveries away at the door. That move sent a loud and clear message about the physical and emotional walls she has put up. Insiders say she is deeply hurt but standing firm, pouring all her energy into her career and her newborn son. Once the Super Bowl confetti settled and the truth was out, Cardi went full throttle into her work. She slew 2 sold-out nights at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, launched her hair brand, and crushed a massive press tour. People close to her call it a total shift toward putting herself first. She is owning her independence and stepping up to the plate as a single mom. Sound off with your take in the comments. Before you bounce, hit that like button and subscribe to NFL Rivals so you catch the next update.